Mr. Scott, we need warp drive as soon as possible.
Captain, it was the engine imbalance that created the wormhole in the first place. It'll happen again if we don't correct it.
That object is less than 2 days away from Earth. We need to intercept while it still is out there.
Need I remind you of the holy you nearly killed us moment not a few minutes ago?
Why was my phaser order countermanded?
Sir, the Enterprise redesign increases phaser power by channeling it through the main engines. The phasers were automatically cut off.
And you acted properly, of course.
Captain Decker is right. Captain Decker. He's the captain. I don't know why Kirk is there.
I'm sorry if I embarrassed you.
You saved the ship.
I'm aware of that, sir.
Stop competing with me, Decker.
Which means stop pointing out when I'm obviously wrong.
But it turns out even Decker can fall victim to certain weaknesses, like cheesy romantic past dialogues.
Was it difficult?
About as difficult as seeing you again. I'm sorry.
That you left Delta for? Or that you didn't even say goodbye?
If I had seen you again, would you have been able to say it?
And we get our last addition to the crew. Mr. Spock comes aboard to figure out why he's been sensing the anomaly.
I offer my services as science officer.
If our exec has no objections?
Of course not.
So we now have a doubly demoted Decker, and Kirk is overjoyed because now he can partake in all the various over-the-top ways he can say Spock's name.
Spock. Spock.
Spock.
Spock. Spock. Spock. Spock. Spock. Spock. Spock.
Oh, it turns out I've been saying it wrong the whole time. It isn't Spock, it's Spock. But things heat up when they finally come across the evil anomaly.
Full mag on viewer.
Full mag, sir.
Continuing friendship messages on all frequencies, sir.
But because they figure out the frequency in which to communicate, the anomaly lets them get closer and eventually enter. And yes, this results in slow
Patterns unrecognizable.
Good God, this is just watching a bunch of footage and then seeing somebody comment on it. Who the would want to see that? Oh, Jesus, it just keeps going. Do something! Fire a laser or some Maybe if we try putting in a thrilling action sequence. Nope, it's still boring! Please do something! Tell a joke, pull Spock's ears off, I don't care, just something! Good God, they don't even bother with reactions anymore. They just start showing longer and longer shots with no friggin' edits in them whatsoever. Cut to something! Cut! 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 Oh my God, this is agony! This is such boredom! Angry Joe, why didn't you tell me? Tell me there's an edit coming up. These shots are going on forever. Please, give me a cut. Just give me a cut!
Oh, I've done far worse than give you no cuts. I've hurt you, and I wish to go on hurting you. I shall leave you as this movie left me, left all audiences, marooned in the center of a dead screening. Bored out of your mind. Bored out of your mind.
Cut! Cut! Cut!
But believe it or not, something does finally happen! Oh, thank God's milky A probe comes aboard and starts taking control of the computer. Well, obviously Spock will find the most logical solution at or he'll go Neanderthal on it.
Spock smash! Oh, Spock no like the shiny thing!
It then takes control of Ilea and vanishes her into thin air.
Well, she's dead now. Tell me, was she celibate?
But she shows up later on the ship, having been taken over by the anomaly.
Jim, what's going on?
Tricorder.
No, that's a bald woman. But this is a tricorder.
Jim, this is a mechanism.
To more readily communicate with the carbon-based units. Infesting. Enterprise. I'm programmed to observe and record.
So the anomaly is called V'ger, and it's searching for who or whatever created her so that she may finally join with it. So while Decker shows her around the ship, allowing her to collect data, Spock surprisingly steals one of the spacesuits to see if he can communicate further with V'ger.
Computer commence recording. Captain Kirk, these messages will detail my attempt to contact the aliens.
So, to put it bluntly, he'll be back after these messages. No, wait, that was a joke, It wasn't serious! No, hey, what are you doing? Stop!
Chester, report! We were intercepted by a word from our sponsor!
Those advertising executives are getting more and more clever. Raise our shields against any more commercial plugs!
Yes, sir!
Incidentally, this raising of the shields is brought to you by the delicious taste of Diet Coke.
Chester! Sorry!
So Spock journeys to the center of V'ger and comes across, well, there's no subtle way to say it, V'ger's a V'ger, if you will. I mean, God, look at that! I keep thinking I'm gonna have to put a sensor bar over that thing! First we got the sky in Langoliers, and now we got the space in Star Trek! Spock tries to mind meld with V'ger, but gets his handed to him. He returns to the ship to report that V'ger came from a planet populated by living machines, and has evolved with incredible knowledge, all except for one question: who the creator is. And V'ger vows to cure the universe of carbon units, mostly the ones on Earth, until she finds her answer.
The carbon unit infestation is to be removed from the creator's planet.
V'ger is a child, evolving, learning, searching. I suggest you treat it as such.
Hey, does V'ger want to go to Chuck E. Cheese? Does V'ger want to see a Justin Bieber concert? Does V'ger want to fund a franchise about a sparkling vampire that's setting women back dozens of years?
The carbon units know why the Creator has not responded.
Disclose the information.
Not until V'ger withdraws the devices orbiting the third planet.
So Kirk says he'll give the information, but only to the center of V'ger herself. The probe complies, and Kirk plans his next move.
Mr. Scott, be prepared to execute Starfleet Order 2005.
Why has the captain ordered self-destruct, sir?
I would say that's because he thinks, he hopes, that when we go up, we'll take the intruder with us.
I signed up for Starfleet to pay for my college. Is there any chance we can not blow up on my very first mission? So how powerful is the emotional need at the center of V'ger? Well, apparently it's so powerful, it made Spock cry.
Not for us.
No, Captain, not for us. For V'ger. I weep for V'ger as I would for a brother.
The brother that we find out you have later, and clearly did not weep for, but one movie at a time. So they get to the center of V'ger and find out that V'ger is in fact Voyager. Voyager 6, the satellite that was sent out years ago and got sucked into a wormhole, landing it on the machine planet. It evolved over the years, and now it wishes to still somehow join with its creator.
You mean this machine wants to physically join with the human? Is that possible?
Let's find out. Decker, I'm gonna key the final sequence through the ground test computer.
So, whatever he just says apparently means that Decker is giving himself to the computer.
Oh, my love, my darling.
So their joining sets off a giant explosion and Enterprise gets the out of there.
Did we just see the beginning of a new life form?
Yes, Captain. We witnessed a birth. Possibly a next step in our evolution.
Well, let's never reference this big step in evolution again in anything Star Trek related. That way it'll show just what an impact it had on our evolution. Truly, this is a big day.
that-a-way.
So the crew is back in form, they're happy a big bang was set off by a big bang, and they go off to where no man has gone before. And that was the first Star Trek movie, and let me tell you, I can see why it's often called the slow motion picture. The ideas are interesting, even provocative, but most of the characters aren't developed in an interesting way, the pacing is unbelievably slow, and on top of that, it's so boring! The effects, I'll admit, are very impressive, but when you have to look at them for what feels like an eternity, you get sick of them pretty fast. I really feel like this film was trying to do what 2001: A Space Odyssey did. You know, sort of make it like an experience movie. But that's not what Star Trek was mostly about. It was more about a mix of ideas and characters, not as much an out-of-body experience. The only out-of-body experience this movie can conjure is taking us to dreamland. So, take it for what it's worth. I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and Star Trek Month is on the way!